Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Classic Arcade Repairs. What do we have here? This is a Seawolf 2 PCB. Midway manufacturing, 1978? 79? I am not exactly sure, to be honest with you. Seawolf 2. Is this this is the one that has the two periscopes? I believe. The big, humongous cabinet, maybe. I don't know. I got to do a little research on that. I'm not exactly sure. But this game is the very first arcade game to use the Astrocade chips. Bally Astrocade. You got the, this is the data custom. I believe this is the address custom, and then the I/O custom, and this is a Z80 over here. I believe that. I know this is the data. These two might be flip-flopped. I don't know. I've got the schematic printed right here, so let me grab that and kind of. All right, this is the address, which says CD3 13. CD3. That's the address. So data, address, I/O is probably CD1. I/O probably says CD1 or 1C. Yeah, CD1. There's the I/O, the address, and CD4 is data. CD4. 4. Yeah, CD4, CD3, CD1, Z80. Okay, kind of an interesting board. There's a little plug-in ROM board here. This thing has 32 4027 RAM, 4027. 30, 32, 8 times 4. Yikes. And you have your audio and your input, output, and audio. I/O board. All these pins here. This is your power input and your video input. This thing has just like a like Gore for Wizard of War or whatever. It's got the RY and BY signals. So I could send the video to that little guy right there and make it color, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do black and white. It's also got a black and white pin. So we'll look at it black and white. I've already got the power and video harness made right here. I already made that. But I haven't done anything else. The first thing I'm going to do is check and make sure none of the voltages are grounded out, and then yeah, because you know it's got these bullet caps on it. I just want to make sure that none of the voltage rails are grounded. So I'll do that first and foremost. You should just be able to use this thing here, and because I've got the pin out right there, and make sure none of these are grounded. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this out here. Okay, we have ground is pins 4 and 5, and 1 is 5 volts, 3 is -5. That's ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't read it. Oh, 6 is actually -5. Yeah, 6 is -5. 7 is 12 volts. 5, 6, 12 volts. 12 volts looks to be shorted. I'm going to put it over to diode mode, red lead on ground, and go to pin 7. Yeah, it's completely zeroed out. That's a complete ground. That's a complete short. So 12 volts is shorted to ground. I think the first thing to do is remove this board. I'm going to go ahead and remove this board and then see if that clears up the 12 volt short. And if not, I'm going to remove all of the bullet caps. Yeah, it's probably one of those that's shorted. I would think. But we'll check by removing that top board. Okay, got that board removed, and let's check it out. This is our. Do we still have a short? 4, 5, 6. No, we don't. The short's gone. So the short is actually on the soundboard, apparently. I want to go back to diode mode. And red on ground. That's ground. This is -5, and this is 12 volts. Okay. This is reset. So the problem was that board. I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to be one of these caps. We're going to replace those things anyway. Because those things are they're ticking time bombs. Huh, interesting. You know what, I want to find out which ones of those are filtering 12 volts. I'm just going to put this back onto diode mode, and I'm going to put the red on pin 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 12 volts. 12. It's all of them. They're all not that one. Not that one. That one is. Not that one. And that one is. Okay, so was it all 3 of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No, 5 and 6. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a little paint dot on all the little orange paint dot on all the 12 volters. Okay. And then -5 is probably the others. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's probably -5. Yep. And there's only one that's filtering that, huh? one is a positive, so it's probably, yep, that one's filtering 5 volts. Only the ones that are filtering 12 volts I'm going to replace. The other ones never are a problem. Those caps always explode on the 12 volt rail, but I've never seen one explode on a 5 volt rail, ever. It's always the 12 volt. So all of these with the orange dot are getting replaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 8. I'll just replace them all. I'll replace all 8 of them. So, yeah, those are bad news right there. Those guys, they explode. I'm surprised that they're not exploded. So, okay. So our problem is that board on 12 volts. So I'm going to put this one down, put that board on the bench, and kind of probe around the 12 volt rails. All right, I got this board out on the bench here, and this is ground. This big track right here is ground, and my guess is this is 12 volts. This 4th pin, and it comes around to this cap and then goes up to this part. So it's this cap and this part. Still short. Okay. Okay. Oh. Here's another trace. Okay. I was like, okay, it just comes up here and doesn't do anything else. How's it shorted to ground? No, it comes down here too. Okay. Okay. 3rd one there, and then it goes there. Okay, and then it comes over here. Is that right here? I'm having a hard... Okay, it's right there. And right here. So it comes all the way down and over to here. Here. And then to this big trace right here. Unless that is just ground. I don't know. I have to get the schematic. I'm kind of wasting my time here. So, I don't know what's what. Alright, I'll be back. Well, I just continued poking around a little bit and I found the short. 10 microfarad tantalum. And it didn't look bad at all. It didn't look blown up or anything. Just trying to... Ah, shit. Let me set it up on here. I don't have much patience today. Yeah, this guy right here is trash. See, here's the 2 pins. There's the cap itself. Tantalum short. So that'll fix that. That'll take care of that short. And yeah, so do some recapping, and I think what I might do to test those custom chips, I think I will get my my Wizard of War board set out and test those chips. That's a good, quick, and easy way to determine if those chips are any good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop, put this, I found the short, so that's good, and get my Wizard of War set up, and let's test the custom chips that are on this board set. If they're no good, then we're kind of done. That's all there really is to it. So yeah, let me do that. Be right back. All right. I got my Wizard of War hooked up and running. So I will go ahead and try these in here. First we'll do the address and the address and the data, and then I'll pull the game board out and try the I/O. Cross our fingers. Alright, we got the address and the data custom in. Notches are both pointing north or up. So we'll go ahead and put this in the board, and after that, this one is bad on mine. That chip is no good. If this one is no good, it won't boot. So when I put the I/O chip in there, if it doesn't boot, then I know that that's no good. But first we're just going to test these two. Let's go ahead and put it in there and give it a shot. Okay, moment of truth time. Boy, I hope they work. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And it's on. Let's see what happens. What do you think? Think it's going to work? What do we got? It looks pretty good, don't it? Well, well, well. Those customs are good. Sweet. Cool. All right, now we will go ahead and try the I/O chip, and hopefully it's good. I was worried for a minute because this thing wasn't coming up right away, and I was like, oh no, they're no good. And then it started to, just barely come up, and now it's good to go. Sweet. All right, so let's check that I/O chip. All right, we're hooked back up. Here's my I/O chip out of the board. The Seawolf 2 I/O chip is now in here. So we will make sure this is good to go. Everything's good to go, and fire it up. If it boots, if this thing boots up, I'm going to call it good. Because when a bad chip is in that slot, it won't boot. Come on, baby. There it is. How about that? Very good. All right. Well, that's a good enough test. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and take this apart, put my chips back in. I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to put a heat sink on his address chip. And heck, I'll put one on the I/O chip as well. And I'd like to put another one on this one, but there, boom. I'll put a good one on that too. So I'm going to go ahead and alcohol the tops of these really good. Clean them up and put a good heat sink on it. Okay. I have also the Seawolf 2 Z80. I had to clean it up because it was completely tarnished. And I threw that in the board. I've got my customs back in it. Here's the customs for the Seawolf. And I put the Z80 in it, and it's fine. Z80 works fine. So cool. So all of the 40 pin chips in that Seawolf are good. So I'll go ahead, turn this off, put my Z80 back in the Wizard of War. Kind of clean these up, put some heat sinks on them. At least on these two. And go from there. Okay, and this is the Data Custom. And I got all of that adhesive off of it. And how I had to do it, that was some serious adhesive. It wasn't coming off with alcohol. So I had to use some 400 grit sandpaper and just kind of lightly sand it off. And now it's cleaned up. You can see where some of that adhesive was on the side here. But I got it, just dusted it off. And now it's good and clean. I'm going to stick a heat sink on it, and it should be good to go. These other ones I'll just clean up. Yeah. And I'll mark this one on the bottom side with I'll just put Data so that I know which one it is. But the Data is the grayish one. And there you have it. All three of them. Your I/O, data, and address. All beautifully cleaned up and new heatsink applied. And that's the Z80. And this thing is going to need new sockets for those guys. These sockets are junk. So I'm going to replace those 4 sockets. And yeah, so that will be next. So I think, I don't know, let's go ahead and, maybe I'll just go ahead and upload this one right now. I might put these stickers on the bottom side of these instead of right there, because I think that might come off. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll put new stickers on the bottom of the chips. That way they'll be identified. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and upload this as part 1 of this. And instead of, I think that attention spans are better on shorter videos, so I'm going to go back to doing some shorter videos instead of just the long, really long ones. Anyway, cool. All right. Well, we'll see you on the next one. I'll get to doing those sockets, and part 2 should be uploaded shortly. A couple days, if not just a day. All right? All right. Thanks a lot, guys.